Welcome to DubLife Diaries, the podcast where passion meets the open road. I'm Joe Person, your host and also a lifelong dubber. Buckle up because this ride is just beginning. This podcast is sponsored by Volksmania magazine. Good times, great cars, awesome Volksmaniacs. Visit Volksmania.com to learn more about this class-leading VW magazine. All right. Welcome back to DubLife Diaries. Today's guest is a man whose fingerprints are all over the VW culture. Not just in California, not just in the US, but this dude is worldwide. He's a builder, he's an artist, he's a historian of the streets, and he's somebody whose story intersects music, film, family, community, and culture. Now, he built his first bug when he was just 16 years old. This bug appeared in Boys in the Hood. Hello, that is so cool. I can't wait to talk about that. Created the iconic Laker bug and fused his passion for VW life and music into one movement, Volks Life. Let's talk about life, legacy, and life as we know it. Ladies and gentlemen, Darrin, D.Note, Milton, welcome to DubLife Diaries.
Wow, man, I'm honored. I want to know who you're talking about right there.
Yeah, man, I'm talking about you. Guys, this is going to be an awesome episode. This dude runs deep through California. It's going to be so awesome. In fact, before we even get the podcast going, check this track out. This is one of his that he recorded. A lot of his music, should I say, is all tied to VW. So check this track out.
Dubs will bring you tears of pain, tears of joy, from adolescence to adult toy. Definitely, I've been a Toys R Us kid, yeah, from rolling down the block to all the shops that I was with. Your tranny bro, time to drink a Modelo, no, I fix it on the spot cause I ain't ready to go. That's bullshit, ain't nothing to f with. It's top dog shipping out powerhouse kids, yeah, we in the streets and even in the museum. They throwing up the dub every time they see them. We V-dub, yeah, that's our Volkswagen. The dub is in the wagon, I love when it ass be dragging. That's Volkslife, yeah, it's our life sentence. I hope your bank is straight cause you about to be spending. You're mashing down the track podium, yeah, you winning. You're hopping out your butt, throw up the dub, and now you're grinning cause you're dubbing for life. Yeah, we bugging for life. We dubbing for life, yeah, you're dubbing for life. Yeah, you're dubbing for life, yeah, you're dubbing for life. I know I will be dubbing for life. Dubbing for life, yeah, you're dubbing for life. You're dubbing for life, yeah, you're dubbing for life. You're bugging for life, yeah, you're bugging for life. I know I will be dubbing for life. Dedicated to code 24 in the hood. Bugging with your jersey number all through the hood. Yeah, we dub reppin'. We deep in these streets. Your heroes coming down the block. You know we got beat. You got a rag top, that's a pushback. You got a vert top, that's no cap. You got the track shoes all up on your fast back. You got the notch back, chillin' with that thing over there, Bugging for life, yeah, you bugging for life. We dubbing for life, yeah, you dubbing for life. Yeah, you dubbing for life, yeah, you dubbing for life. I know I will be dubbing for life. Dubbing for life. Yeah, you're dubbing for life. You're dubbing for life. Yeah, you're dubbing for life. You're bugging for life. Yeah, you're bugging for life. I know I will be dubbing for life. Try to squeeze the bottle, let your nitrous go. Cause they the creeper, you the sleeper. And they thought you was all show until the fire out the tailpipe. Let them all know. And now they eating up your dirt dust and the gravel. You got these hand slangers, paddle tires, digging out dirt. And if your mechanism's working right, you're coming in first. Spinning like a dust devil, clutching your hearse. Crossing over the finish with the Volks Life thirst. Now you're bugging for life. You're bugging for life. You're dubbing for life. Yeah, you're dubbing for life. Yeah, you're dubbing for life. Yeah, you're dubbing for life. I know I will be dubbing for life. Yeah, you're dubbing for life. You're dubbing for life. Yeah, you're dubbing for life. You're bugging for life. Yeah, you're bugging for life. I know I will be dubbing for life. Bugging for life. You bugging for life, you dubbing for life, yeah, you dubbing for life, yeah, you dubbing for life, yeah, you dubbing for life. I know I will be dubbing for life, yeah, you dubbing for life, you dubbing for life, yeah, you dubbing for life, you bugging for life, yeah, you bugging for life. I know I will be dubbing for life.
Nothing but smoothness.
All right, we are back. What'd y'all think? Pretty dope, right? Pretty dope. Yes. All right. Back to you, my man. Back to you. Let's go
How we
back
living?
to 92nd in Normandy. What was a 14-year-old D-Note discovering under the deck lid of those first bugs?
Wow, man. That's an awesome question. That's an awesome question. I'm going to take you back a few steps.
Okay.
Um, find out recently, within the last few years, that the gentleman who moved behind my home at that time ended up being my cousin, real life cousin.
What?
So at the time, yeah, right. At the
Yeah.
time, we didn't know this. We're in junior high school, and one day he goes, "Hey, man, let's go up to my uncle's shop real quick. I got to go pick up some money or whatever he had to do." And I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So we get on the bus, go down Normandy, get off the bus, and I'm going, "Man, if my mom catches me over here, what are you doing over here?" But anyway, we get off the bus, man, and we walk inside this shop, and I'm like, I wasn't expecting this. It was Volkswagens everywhere. Some lowered, some painted, some being sanded on, some being worked on, some motors being wrenched on. And I'm just in awe at the moment. He's doing what he's got to do with his uncle, and I'm wandering through the shop now. It's stuff on the floor, it's dust on the floor. So at that moment, I didn't care about anything else. I didn't hear what he was talking about. I didn't know where else we were going that day. I just remember I ended up going home. I just remember end up going home. And the next day it was raining. So we go to his uncle's house. And we didn't get there till evening time. So his uncle's got this Volkswagen sitting in the front yard in the grass, maybe about 2 inches off the ground, man. I'm talking about in the dirt, in the mud, man. And everybody goes in the house, and I'm standing outside in the rain looking at this Volkswagen. I'm just like, I'm in heaven already. 92nd in Normandy, man. The Jackson brothers. That's where I started. One of the brothers, his name was Sonny Jackson, who took me under his wing and showed me everything he knew, became what I would learn to do as body work, mud work, people call it, laying bondo, primering, knocking out dents, cutting off front ends, cutting off, chop tops, making, pull back rag tops, stuff like that. So yeah, 92nd and Normandy was a really major launching point, the actual pinpoint for D-Note to begin his career with what will become Volkslife here in the future now.
So did that guy, is that who taught you how to wrench? In the beginning, you said you
He
learned a
and his
lot of stuff from him.
He and his brothers, I didn't do a lot of wrenching other than just maybe removing fenders and doors and hoods. But so I guess that is called wrenching. Yes, yes, he did teach
Yeah,
me the
for sure.
tools. Yes, he did teach me the tools, the body hammers, the ball peen hammers, the ratchets, the screwdrivers, pry bars. He did teach me all the tools that I would need to go grab for him. Being the body man apprentice for a while that I was. But yeah, Sonny J, rest in peace now. Tragic ending of life years ago. But yeah, he showed me everything, and then his brothers as well. His older brother Stuff, and his younger brother Bunny. Yeah, Stuff, Bunny, and Sonny is what everybody knew them as, the Jackson brothers. So yeah, man, that's how I got in it. He showed me everything.
Okay, okay. So your
Yeah,
first build, let's go back to the first build. This was called the Noid, right?
yeah,
Walk
yeah.
walk me walk me through the build, man. Tell me what made that car so special to you.
I was I'm still a pizza guy, right? I love pizza. I'll go out of state. I'll go out of wherever I'm going, and I'm gonna go find a pizza joint. I love uh,
Hell yeah.
my wife. My wife is like, "We're in New Orleans. You want pizza?"
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I love pizza. So at the time, I was eating a lot of Domino's, and Domino's came out with a little character.
Hmm.
You probably remember him, the Pizza
Yep.
Noid, the Domino's Pizza,
I do
right?
remember.
So they actually were giving the little bendable characters away for a while. And I was like, wow, that was really neat. So I went to the Domino's a few times, and I'd had a couple of them. And I was getting ready to paint my car. I was getting ready to paint the Noid at this time. It was still primered gray. And I took the bendable Noids, and they had suction cups on their palms and his feet. And I stuck them to the inside of the windows with they're inside my car with their funny looking face, hanging
Yeah.
on to the window. And it just clicked. I was like, the Noid. That's what I'm going to call my car, the Noid.
Isn't it
So
cool?
that
Isn't it
was
cool how the names come to us?
Yeah, man.
They
Yeah,
always
that was
do. You know, you try so hard sometimes when you get a new one to come up with a name, but you can't. It's because it's always just this thing that happens. It evolves, and
yeah,
the name
yeah,
evolves of these cars. It's so cool. You
yeah.
built this car though when you were 16, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
tell me back then, what did you learn most about yourself at such a young age, building a car like this?
I learned that I did have patience. I
You're gonna
learned that
need
I
that.
had I learned that I had determination. I learned that I had the will. Um, and then you put the skill into it because at that time it wasn't, we didn't have a lot of money. I didn't grow up in a family that had a lot of money. So I couldn't just go to my mom and say, hey, I need some money for a new transmission, right? So we had what we call pick parts, and you probably, junkyards.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was a big fan of junkyards because at that time, in the late 80s, um, it was like no Volkswagens were really that big of a deal. So it was a ton of them in the junkyard still with rag tops on them, with wheels on them, with motors. So I had pickings of free pickings. It was like, what do I need? Bolts, fenders, hoods. So
Wow.
I found out that my determination to build this car was really, really strong and really heavy on me because I would go to sleep at night thinking about it, wake up the next morning. And that's why some of my songs say, I wake up first thing in the morning, I'm thinking about my Volkswagen. Those are real lines from
Yeah, they
childhood.
are
You know what I'm saying? My lyrics are really, they touched all aspects and all ages of my life. So
so
at,
good.
at 16, 17 years old, looking for parts to build this car, um, within the next few years it was done, and I actually painted it myself. I I didn't go to an actual paint body store to get my paint. I was also working at a lumber yard as a security guard later on, just like some temporary things, just cleaning up and stuff like that. But the guy would always let me go in the paint section and hang out with him, and I found out that tractor paint was just like auto paint, right? So they're painting tractors orange, yellow, white, whatever, And I saw this white paint and went, I wonder how that would look on my car. So the Noid actually got painted with tractor paint from Anawalt lumber.
That's a cool story.
you know, yeah. People don't even. This story is. I don't think anybody's ever heard these stories, man. This is awesome. That's what I'm telling you now. Your platform is so needed, and I'm so gracious and so grateful for you to be able to
Oh
even
man.
be ask these
Thank,
questions, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
I'm,
for that.
I'm, I'm, I'm
The
calling
only
you
reason it
JP already.
exists is because of you. The only reason I'm here is because of guys like you. You guys are willing to come on. You're willing to share these stories. Hey, man, this
Yeah.
is important for us to
Yeah.
document this. It's a cool
Yeah.
life.
It's a life. It's
It's a
literally a
cool
life of its
life.
own. It's
Yeah.
it's a life of its own.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
life of its own, man. So I'm honored to be a part of it for so long. Because a lot of us aren't here today. Rest in peace to a lot of us. Some of us just don't have the will anymore, the money anymore, because it's so much more expensive now.
Right.
I'm
Amen.
sure that's another question down the line.
Yeah.
But
I-
but
I'll tell
but
you what I
yeah,
want to touch on now is what everybody wants to touch on. How did you end up in that famous Crenshaw wall scene in Boys in the Hood? I mean, dude, I grew up on that vibe. Boys in the Hood was, I mean, that I'm right there. That was high school. That was everything. There were fights outside the movie theater those nights when I mean,
yeah,
that was the life back
yeah.
then, man. That was it. So how'd you end up? How'd this all come together?
So I was in the club. Still, I don't. I say I was in a club, but I'm really a solo roller now. But my original club, V-Dub Love, that we formed years ago, my president had gotten a phone call from one of the I believe he was a producer or something like that on the set, and they were looking for cars. They were looking for Volkswagens, and so they called him up, and he called everybody up, and we met over here. I can't even remember the street. It was right here in the neighborhood somewhere, like on 46 and Dinker or something like that. And we all pulled up on the block, And this guy pulls up in his car, in his nice car, and he gets out and he's looking through all the cars down the street, and he walks up on the porch because we're all in the grass in the yard now, just like a scene in Boys in the Hood. And he goes, "I need everybody to sign this piece of paper here, show up at this time, and on Crenshaw at the wall at this time." And we didn't really still know exactly what was going on until that day. So when I heard Ice Cube's name, I was like, wait, what? What's going on? What are we here for? So at the time, I didn't know what we were signing up for. I just thought we were signing up for a movie that they were going to film in the hood.
There you go, be some
um,
extras.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Get our cars in the background, so on and so forth. So anyway, we get there and Singleton's outside and everybody. I'm going. Wait,
Yes.
this is this is this is
Yo.
this is this is something going on here today, right? So we park, they line us up, we pull in, and my car is way maybe about 20 cars back at the time from the blue convertible, Trey's blue convertible. So all of a sudden I hear them walking on the bullhorn and they're calling somebody, and somebody from up on top of the wall, they're reaching down, they're going, I wasn't D-Note. Then they're like, Darrin, they're calling for the white Volkswagen to be moved. And I'm going, oh wow, am I in the wrong place? They say, hey man, can you pull your car all the way up behind the blue convertible? And I'm going, yeah, of course I can. But you know how editing goes. It only shows like a slither of the Noid. It didn't really get in some of the scenes that they had filmed because they did different angles.
Right.
But the angle they actually chose, it doesn't really give it the blast that I thought was going to give it. But they ended up having me stay right there on the set right there. And I ended up being one of the extras to walk up to the second rabbit. There's two rabbits that pull up when he's telling the story about him getting getting his first time.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yes.
I and two other guys walk up to the driver's side of the second rabbit that pulls up. So you see the guy in the flat top, in the black shoe, the black pants. That's yours truly, man.
Oh man,
So
how cool. How
yeah,
cool.
for it to end up being what it is today.
Mm.
Yeah. Like I said, we can't pay for certain things that happen to us in life, man. Certain things that we go through in life, we just can't pay for those moments to be tied to something that iconic. And I don't even
Yeah.
know if I told you that I also got a part in Straight Outta Compton.
No
My
way.
my '63 convertible is actually in Straight Outta Compton. When you see the guy, what they call crip walking.
Yeah.
He's crip walking down what should be Crenshaw, but they're in Lamert Park on Lamert Avenue. And my convertible sitting there, and the fender that the camera pans up over is my fender. So
Come on, man. That's so cool.
so two movies from the neighborhood right here. Yeah, man. I'm a proud Angelino. I grew up in the hood. I've survived. I mean, you think about it. The drug addict, the crack days,
Oh
the
man.
Uzi days,
Ev-
So
yeah.
I was right here. I was right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were on Crenshaw at the wall when I heard my first Uzi in person, and had to run like everybody else.
Right. Sure.
Boys in the Hood all over again.
Right.
So, yeah,
So
man.
Boys in the Hood was a while back. Like,
Yeah,
this cameo, so to speak, that
yeah,
you had in this film through the
yeah.
years, you know, what's it meant to you? I guess what's it meant to you through the years, this much later to be involved in something like that?
It gives me a sense of pride because we had such a bad rep back when we were still called South Central LA. Now they just call us South LA, or South LA is
South
what they
Central.
call
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
South
So,
Central. South
yeah.
Central carries a different type of aura with it. So um,
Yeah.
to have watched from a distance, because again, my mom wasn't she was no joke as far as me hanging out, being out in the streets and where I was going to be. So
Good.
to have been able to be out as much as I was and to be involved with as much as I was, it means everything, man, because I can share in these moments now with you here,
Yes.
2026,
Mhm.
about history that I was here to experience, and people are listening. People think it's relevant. They want to hear about what was going on from the inside.
Dude, it is
Um,
relevant. It's freaking Boys in the Hood, man. It's definitely relevant. It's part of our absolute history.
yes, yes,
Any of
sir.
us
Yeah.
that grew up in the 80s, 90s in that era, man, that's everything. It's so cool. Fast forward just a little bit. Let's talk about the Laker bug. This was what, 96?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, the first one.
Yeah.
Where'd the idea come from?
Um, Purple has always been my color,
I
you
can
know,
I
but
can tell.
purple has always been my color.
Okay.
So for me, it was easy for the paint job to take effect. But after it got painted, my first liquor bug, I didn't paint. I sent it to Wonder Day out here on 130th, 29th or something like that in Normandy at a Wonder Day. And when I got the car back, it pulls up. My buddy went and got it on the tow bed for me. And as it pulled up, and it's purple now, and I'm going, now it needs some yellow. Purple and yellow is just like something that they just go together, right? So, and at that moment, when I get it unloaded, I get it pushed in the driveway, and all of a sudden I'm going, oh my God, I'm gonna do this thing purple and yellow. I'm gonna call it the Laker bug.
Done.
Next thing you know, it's a 1968 VW Bug rolling around. I took some material that I went and got from downtown. I glued it myself to my door panels. I took towels. I took Laker towels and put them over my seats because I couldn't afford interior jobs. You know,
Yeah. That's dope
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. I found some actual colored fender beads. They don't even know where you can find them anymore. They used to make blue and red, and yeah, I found yellow fender beads. Put them in the Laker Bug. You
Yeah,
know.
man.
Yeah, and then
Found itself. But then you sold it, right? Back in 2003. Was that
yeah,
a hard decision for you?
it was because I took it apart a lot before I actually sold it, so it didn't look like it did when I was driving it.
Okay.
But I knew I was going to have to do it again. I knew I was going to have to make another one.
And then you
So,
did, right? So then fast forward to 2015, you make the second Laker bug. Tell me again now, what inspired that? You said you had to do another one, but what inspired it?
I had actually painted this Laker Bug, which is a 1965, white. It was done white already. It was done white with alloys. It was, running boards. Everything was chrome. The motor was chrome. But when I would drive in it, it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. So I took it apart, repainted it, redid the interior,
Purple?
and thus we have the new Laker Bug.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
and then the 24, if you could see the one in the background, how it was, and it said the Laker Bug in the windshield. The 24 went on right when Kobe was retiring. So people were saying that I do it after he passed away, but no, I was at Kobe's last game when he scored that 60 points, and the Laker Bug was out there. And when I say the police wanted me to move my car, it was nothing I could do because we're talking all cultures were surrounding me. I couldn't budge. The police finally just walked away from me. They
Yo.
were like, they were like, forget it. He can't move. I'll move gladly, officer, but please, you have to do something about the crowd first. It's not me, officer. Please, no, it's not me. So yeah, this car here with the 24 on the hood, it's it's historic to me now. I have to redo it. It sits in my driveway right now. People come over and they're like, dude, what are you doing? Why is she sitting here like this?
Hmm.
Disrespecting
Okay.
the Laker bug. But anyway, just to say real quick, when I did a show with Kevin Hart on Motor Trend. Motor
Yeah.
Trend did a show special on him. I don't know if you saw it. But the Laker bug and myself is actually in that episode.
Oh, come on, man. You
You
got
know
all
he
these
brought
you got all this Hollywood in you.
he bought Joey, one of his business partners, of Volkswagen. So
Oh.
they wanted to come out and do a special on Volkswagens with Joey. So they came down to Dockweiler with a club that I would roll with called Westside VW Club down at Dockweiler, and they shut the beach off. We all had the COVID test, so we could be in a no mask area
Yeah.
because Kevin Hart is coming. So no, this Laker bug here, what it means to me and what it's done for the public, and I always built it and always said it wasn't for me because I can't see it while I'm driving. But to see the kids and the parents and the reaction when I drive by, oh man, it's like a Michael Jackson or something. You
Oh,
know,
what a
it's,
what a vibe, what a feeling.
oh man, it's through the roof. it's a through the roof feeling, man. You know, you see the little kid tugging on his dad's jacket, or she's tugging on her dad's jacket and pointing, and then I see the dad turns just too late and he didn't see me. Because it would tickle me pink, man, just to see it happen, you know. So yeah, the Laker Bugs have done a whole lot for my libido, for my chi, for my spirit, for
A
my
lot
soul.
of a lot of us like that feeling. We like the feeling that we get when people appreciate our cars, our craft, our hobby, our
Our
life.
time,
Yeah, well, that too, for sure.
our money.
Especially if we do a lot of it ourselves, which I know a lot of that stuff you do. But then you talked about how it also ended up in Kobe Bryant's Final Time magazine article, right?
Yes,
Tell me,
yes,
tell me
yes.
about how that moment hit.
So thank I thank my lucky stars, and I thank God that the car was still driving at that time. Um, because shortly after that was when I actually dismantled it because I got some body issues. But they did a visual right here in Leimert Park, which is only 2 minutes away from my home. So I drove around. I drove my car around, and people were just showing up, gathering there, putting pop-up tents, and all of a sudden I look up and it's packed around us. They're putting candles in front of my car.
Damn.
Um, you know, they're putting jerseys on top of my car with flowers, and they're taking pictures in front of my car. And now I've got this shrine around
Wow.
the front of the car.
Dude,
And
I
there
got
was,
goosebumps, bro.
man, this was a moment, man. This was a deep moment. So when I realized that they've got a few news channels there, and I didn't even realize that the gentleman who took the photo was for the Los Angeles Times, because they had channel Uno, Telemundo was there. I think it was the name of the channel. Channel 7 was there. So I didn't really
Wow.
see who did what until I see the picture. My friend's daughter calls me. She goes, "D.Note, did you see your car in Kobe's magazine?" And I'm going, "No." You know, I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah." So I left and went right to a Ralph's Market, and I bought like 6 of them off the shelf. They were like
Yeah.
$20. I went broke. I didn't care. I want
Yeah.
all of them. The
Yeah, I
lady's
would have
looking at me
too. I would
like,
have too.
you gonna leave any for anybody? So I turned it to the page that my car was on. I said, "Ma'am, this is my car." And she said, "Oh my God." So anyway, I get home. And the next day, I call the photographer. I see his name, and I call the photographer, and I actually get through to him. And we're talking. I'm telling him I really appreciate him picking my car, because I'm sure there were Lambos out that day, there were Corvettes out that day, there were
Sure.
Impalas out that day, Kobe'd out, Lakered out. There were many other cars. And he says, "I can't take the credit." He said, "You'd have to talk to the editor, the magazine editor. They picked your car." And I went, "Wow." He turns in his work, they go through it, and they pick them, and they landed on the Laker Bug.
Let's
And
go,
the
baby.
honor
Let's
of that,
go. That's
that's
awesome.
like a Grammy to me. That's like my
Absolutely.
Grammy. You
Absolutely.
know,
I agree. I agree. How cool, man. Cool
what
story.
could top that? What could top that? With the
Yeah.
24 on the hood?
I don't know. Not a whole lot, actually. Not a whole lot, you know. And I was so excited to hear about this, hear about how some of the stuff came together. Let's touch on your
Yeah.
mom for a second.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Clora Bryant. Yeah, she was a jazz legend.
Yeah, here she is. I keep her with me all the time. This is
Okay.
her.
Very
This is my
cool.
urn. That's my urn of her.
How
Um,
did You're very musically inclined as well. How did her influence shape your creativity?
oh man, I didn't have a choice. My mom would wake us up, me and my brother, up at like 2 and 3 in the morning, and tell us to come sing these lyrics she had just written, or come perform this I just did. So her influences were very early, and I didn't know that it was going to be an influence like that, because she didn't have to tell me later that to go sing. I was like a little bird. I was singing everywhere. I wanted to sing. That's all I wanted to do. So
Oh,
her
cool.
influence was her influence on me is everything. I have different people, different favorite artists that I grew up to like and mimic and love their music. Commodores, Lionel Richie,
Mm,
Jeffrey Osborne, Kenny Loggins, Kenny Rogers, just go back and to all the old school singers. But I never really took to jazz the way my mom wanted me to. I took to more R&B. I was more of a balladeer, and she was like, well, we have balladeers, Joe Williams, Ernie Andrews. And I go, yeah, mom, but it's just still not, it's just not my vibe, what I want to do. So she allowed that to happen, and she found some music, One in a Million, Larry Graham. That was one of her favorite songs that I would sing. Real quick, I actually sang that to her on her transition bed in the hospital in Cedar Sinai.
Oh
I'm in
man.
I'm in the room with her singing to her while she's transitioning, and the doctors and the nurses are like, "Is this really happening in here?" I couldn't sing it. It was coming out gargle, but knowing
Man.
she could hear me, knowing she could hear me. Yeah, my mom's influence. I'm a mama's boy, man. I'm a mama's boy.
I got a whole house full of them. As much as I wish they were maybe daddy's boys, they're not. And
Yeah, yeah,
it's okay. My
yeah.
wife is an incredible human being. If they're gonna
That's right.
if they're gonna want to be like that, at least it's for her. I can imagine your mother also an incredible woman.
Growing up single, she was a single woman. My dad, I love my dad to death. We talk now more than we ever have. My dad is still living. He lives in Seattle, Washington. He lives up in Washington State.
Okay,
Um,
I was just
and
there.
It's beautiful up there, man.
It's beautiful up there. It was a little bit cold because I'm from the west coast of Central Florida, where we basically live on the equator down here. It's you don't really have to worry about cold down here, but I will tell you, in the next couple days, we're supposed to be getting these cold snaps down into the upper 20s. We got freeze
Um,
alerts and freeze warnings everywhere. We're like, what? This is Florida. What y'all
I
talking
can't do
about?
it, man. I
Yeah, man,
can't do it, man. I
too
can't
cold.
do it.
Yeah,
I
too.
can't do it, man. So yeah, man. So her being a single parent, struggling being a jazz musician, and that's what she was born to do. So she had a couple other jobs. She would take jobs at high schools or junior high school. She was a substitute teacher at Portola Junior High School over in the Valley. She did some teaching at Taft. But for her, the trumpet was her man. That's what she called her trumpet, her old man. She's like, go get my old man and put him in the car and go pack my old man up. And
Oh
it was
man.
funny to me. I'm little like, okay, me and my brother, we're packing up her stuff, packing up her instruments, and her music stands and stuff like that. But to watch her on stage, oh man, it was like no other. She
Mm,
was she would engage and make you engage and engage the crowd to the
mm.
point of they couldn't believe almost like this iconic woman was right there touching them and wanting to be with them and be on the floor with them and dance with them because they looked at my mom like this big great statue, like Dizzy Gillespie. She played, Charlie Parker, Louis Armstrong, I mean, account real quick, Jay. Me and my brother used to ride on the bus to Disneyland with Count Basie's big band all the time.
Oh,
We'd go through the back of Disneyland. These gates would open up. These bush gates, they had like ivy all over them. You didn't even know they were there. This ivy opens up, and the bus would go through, and the ivy would close behind us. And we'd walk in with the band, with Count Basie and all the guys, Streamline on the trombone and all these
dang,
with my
man.
mom. Hey, John, man, I'm talking, man. My memory and my life, man. I've had a full one, man. I've done some things in my life that I'm very honored to be a part of.
Let's
You
talk
know,
about
very,
music. Let's keep talking about music, but this time for your music. Now, you dropped your first track in 2019 that was
yeah.
all about VW life. Maybe not your first track, but your first track about VW life. Why 2019? Why was that the right moment in time?
You touched on something definite, which was definitely not my first song because I've
Right.
got song placements,
Sure.
and I'll tell you about that later. But at that time, I had my label was here up and running. Enterprise Entertainment was up and running. My studio was here. The Lake Studio was here, and I had a few artists signed to my label. Um, Not to go into a long story, but one of my artists did some very disrespectful things that made me shut my doors. It made me just turn off the lights, turn off the computers, and I just
Wow.
had to take a break. I just had to
Oh,
take a break.
okay.
So it probably took me every bit of maybe a few weeks. I woke up one morning talking to my wife, and I look at her and I go, Hey, I'm gonna write a song about Volkswagens. And she goes, "What took you so long?" I'm like, I'm
Yes.
like, I'm like,
That's that
imagine
support
that.
we need right there. That's that support we need.
You know what I'm saying, man? I'm talking about my wife is not. She don't have my back. She got the front, the side. You know,
Yes. Yes,
you
mine
know,
too. Mine too. It's funny.
man.
It's funny to say that like that because I did the same thing just maybe a year and a half ago when I talked
Okay,
about starting this podcast. So my background is I come from the trades and
okay,
I'm an instructor. I teach a sales class for HVAC technicians and really
oh
in-home
wow,
type service experience. And
okay, awesome, awesome.
I woke up one morning and I said to her, you know how a lot of these influencers in the HVAC realm have like started these podcasts and they've really, tried to, create these anchor points for the trades and to give technicians and salespeople and just people on that side of the trades a
Right.
place to land, right? And a place to
Okay.
to to kind of be exposed. I said,
Okay.
I need to do that for the Volkswagen community because there's nobody really out there that shares the stories of the past of these people because it's important that somebody documents it. There's a bunch of podcasts out that talk about horsepower and builds and all of that stuff, but there's nobody that really dives into the people. So it was kind of a
Yeah.
similar vibe. My wife's like, okay, I mean, well, how come you haven't done it yet? Like, what's up? Let's go. I'm like, okay. Okay, that's it. I should start it. She's like,
Okay.
yeah, do it. If that's what you want to do.
Right.
Man, I did it,
Yeah.
and I'm glad I did.
I am too. I am too. I'm glad you did it too.
Thank you,
Because
brother.
I mean,
Thank you.
look what we've done. You're in Florida, right?
I am.
Right. So you figure back in the early '80s and '90s, we couldn't have done this. We
No
couldn't
way.
connect. Like this.
No
We
way
couldn't connect like
possible.
this.
We could have
We
talked
couldn't.
on the phone, but it wouldn't have been this type
It's
of
not this.
feeling. I feel like we're chilling. It wouldn't have been this
I
type of
know.
feeling.
I know we're chilling. I know we're chilling.
Yeah. All right. So
I know we're chilling.
walk me through the creation of Volkslife.
Okay. So Voke's life is it came about because I thought about my life. I thought about being 14 when I first came up with the creation of the writing of the song, and I went, well, what would I write about? You know, and I went, well, I've got plenty. Right? It's not like I'm going to come up short for lyrics. I won't catch a writer's block, which I've done writing my love songs or my hip hop songs. Um, so when I came up with the theory of the Voke's life, it was actually a song that resonated with the actual melody for the words. Ba da 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 da. Da, 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 da. And it was the melody that made me hear living the Volks life,
Mm.
living the double life. We're rolling these classics, right?
Hmm.
Because and I had to make a distinction on that too because Volkswagens they still making them. They make the new Beetle. You know, no downfall to Volkswagen for making the new Beetle, but I would have done a different design. Just me, personally, to catch more of us. But the Volkslife title, and then I found out that there was a guy also who was calling his company Volkslife. His name is Mario, but he does Volkslife photography. And people were saying, "Oh, you guys are going to clash. You guys might have a problem." Me and this guy are good friends.
Yeah. Right
You know
on.
what I'm saying? His business is called Volkslife. My company's Volkslife, and we have a good time. I wear his gear. He wears my gear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I'm saying?
perfect. Yeah, that's cool.
So for the Volkslife title, it's exactly what it is. I'm living the Volkslife. Literally now with music and what I do every day. I've got cars in my driveway here. I've got one client here with a 63 pan off restoration I'm working on.
Mm.
And they're wondering, they're looking at the work when I send them their updates and they're so happy. And I'm going, I'm just here living my Volkslife. I'm
Mm.
glad you guys are happy with the product that I'm giving you and the work that I'm giving you, but I'm just living my Volkslife. My wife goes, how'd your day go? I'm like, great. I might be
Yeah,
beat up,
right.
tired,
Well, I got to
dust
complain
all in,
about.
dust
I'm
all
working
in my
around
face.
Volkswagens all day.
I'm smelling exhaust. I mean, what? I'm in my happy place. So yeah, Volks life. It means the world to me. It's how I'm living. It's how I'm living. You know.
So you talk a lot about being a husband, a father, an uncle, a grandfather. How does family shape your VW journey?
Wow. Um, to have the support that I have, I can't speak for everybody. To have the support that I have from my family. My mom passed 2019, right when I had just done my first song, and she was here for my first video shoot.
Cool.
She wasn't here when I finished it, but she was here when I started the journey of that. And my wife and my children, even when I embarked on it at first, just to go dive back into the Volkswagens, everybody was like, "What? Of course, Dad. That's what you love to do. That's what you love to do." So, with all that support from my family, I walk on my toes, man. You know, it's hard for me to walk flat-footed or woe is me.
Yeah.
I can't. You know, and I've lost friends, I've lost family. You know, you go through things with your own personal family, with your siblings, with your uncles, with your fathers. You know, you go through these things in life, but I still can't walk flat-footed because my heart is already too big. By the time you hit my heart and try to shrink it, it may shrink a few inches, but it's still huge already. So how do you deflate that? You know,
Yeah.
so
That's awesome.
my family is everything, man. My wife, she supports me. She goes to all my meets with me. And at first she was working so much she didn't go. So people at the meets would go, "Hey D, where's your wife? You really have one?" You know what I'm saying? So when she started coming back out with me, and one of my buddies, rest in peace, Kiki, man, we miss you, Kiki, German tribe. When I first brought her, and she walks up, and Kiki goes, "You haven't been lying to us. You haven't been lying to us." And I'm like, "Man, what?" And she looks better than you. So yeah, no, man, the support I have from my family and my children, man, is my grandkids. I've got pictures. I'll send you pictures later, of them inside my Laker bug and
Please do.
going. Yeah,
Yeah.
my oldest, he's playing for Hamilton right now. He's playing football for Hamilton. He's running track for Hamilton High School right now. He'll be a senior next year.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's enjoying it. He sports his grandpa's folks life to Hamilton High School.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna need to get me one of them hoodies myself. That thing is looking
I,
pretty slick.
I got you, man. I got you. I got you. I'll send it right over. I was doing a lot of apparel. I was making beanies, my hoodies. I was doing t-shirts, and I promise you, man, I really sold out of a lot of things that I was creating.
Yeah,
I wasn't able to sustain that type of store because I needed to work as well.
sure.
So it didn't move the way I needed to move at that time. So it kind of pulled back. But I had people telling me all the time, like, "D, I still haven't got my sweater. D, where's my sweater?" So this is something that literally is on the table right now. I just got a couple of hoodies from downtown. I just went and bought some t-shirts I've got to
Yeah.
make. So yeah, I
So,
got you, man. I got you.
you
I
you
got
could do an online store, like maybe through Shopify or Printify, and you could have them fulfill the order. So you
right,
you could just
right,
have like a
right,
website or something online. You could tell
right,
people, yeah, man, go to
right,
this link if you want one of these hoodies, and then
right,
and
right,
you don't even have to
right,
touch it. That's what
right.
technology does for us in today's day
You
and age.
know,
Yeah.
you know. But it was just something about me because I colored this, right. I colored and I go to my printer and I have them printed out, and then I cut all the
No
other.
way, bro. You're talented, man.
With a razor, I get in there and take all this stuff out
Dang,
right there at the
man.
counter, right at the counter. When before he even irons them on, I make it like this so he can press it like this.
Yeah,
So
dope.
it was something about me hands on selling things that were very, very personal.
Okay,
Very, very
okay. Well, that's different, and but makes it even better. Now we can kick the price tag up a little bit.
right, right.
Make it worth your
And,
time. Hey, man,
and
I'll
that's
support you.
that's something that's so hard for me to do, man, is charge people for things. I deal with like we talk about it from Germany. I've got a guy, Ali, man. I call him O. And one day I saw his work online and he was putting no worries on the bottom of this Volkswagen emblem. And I text him, I forward him, didn't know that he couldn't speak English. I text him and he texts me back and he's using Google Translation.
Hmm.
And I said, "Hey man, can you put anything on there where you're putting no worries?" And he's like, "Well, what would you like to see?" And I said, "Well, my brand is Volkslife. Could you put Volkslife, on those emblems like that?" So maybe not even a few days later, this guy sends me back him and his computer designing what would be. Here, I can hold this up for you. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
I
no doubt.
rhinestone. I rhinestoned it out and put it on the chain. But the Volkslife down here at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
Ollie did this. He made these resins and sent them to me from Germany.
Dope.
So now I wear them. A buddy of mine also has made some here. My buddy La Familia,
Yeah,
Ishmael,
cool, man. That's so cool looking.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, man. No, the Volkslife emblem and the worldwide reception for that is amazing. It's
So let's
amazing.
let's talk about the reception. How has the VW community embraced not just you, but your talent, your artistry over the years?
That's a awesome question as well, and I'm gonna go directly to something which would have been 2021, 2022. A gentleman reached out to me from the East Coast. His name is Jack Sims. iJack is what his call sign is on Facebook, but he runs a site called All Events and Shows, right? And he's been developing for the last few years where you can go on his site and just find all the shows all across America, all the way across the United States. And he's organizing it right now where you can take a trip, a cruise across the United States and stop at all the shows on your way there and on your way back.
Oh,
Say that to say this. This gentleman reached out to me and he was like, "How can we get you on the East Coast, D.Note? You know, what's up?" And I'm like, I just don't have the cash. Do you know he and his wife sponsored me, man, to go to the first show I did on the East Coast, which was called Bug Out 85. Dan Ledbetter, he did the article in Beat Up Trend on it, and I got my
mhm.
first write up in Beat Up Trend, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
so
shout out to Dan. Super, super awesome guy.
man, that's my big D, man. That's my dude, man. That's my dude. So Jack made this happen. They paid for my room and board. They paid for my travel, paid me to come out there and perform for this show.
Wow.
And when I say no holds barred, it was awesome. So the reception from here all the way to the East Coast, I can't pay for it, man. I can't pay for it. And then not just one time, that happened in 2023. And then the very next year, they offered me to come back. So the first one was in Virginia. And then the second, 2023 was in Virginia. The second show was in Perryville, Maryland. So Perryville, Maryland, they did a really big show out there called V-Dubs by the Bay.
Okay.
And this was actually Jack's club who was organizing this, Strictly VW Auto Club. And these guys, man, they did some artwork. Matter of fact, I've got this sitting here too, and I know I did that on purpose. You see this bottle?
Yeah,
That bottle says Volkslife on it,
it
my
does.
brand
Yeah.
at Volkslife, right?
Yeah.
So this brewery company, Fifth Company Brewery in Perryville, okayed this logo to be designed by our guy, I believe Sean or Jason. Damn, I'm forgetting which one of them did this design on here. But they called me up and they're like, "Hey D, you mind if we put your brand on a beer bottle?"
Nope, I don't mind at all.
I mean, come on, John, you can't make this stuff up. You know what I'm
Nah, that's
saying?
so
It's
cool,
like
man.
it's like so when you ask, what's the reception or what it's been like, from here to you deal with Just Bugging down there by you. Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah, yeah. I know them.
So,
I know them guys pretty well. They come to all our shows locally, and I support them. They support us.
yeah, the father and son duo, man.
Yep.
Dalton and Greg, yeah, man. They,
Yeah,
they,
man.
they sent me some things. I'm in some of their podcasts. They use some of my music in their podcast, which is really awesome. Ali from Germany has sent them some of my emblems from Germany to them in Florida.
They're not that
So
far from me. They're just a couple, maybe an hour and 30 minutes north of me.
oh wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, so when they see this, if we say what up, just
Yeah.
bugging,
Yeah.
but yeah, man. So the reception, like I say again, I can't pay for it, man. I can't pay for it. It's awesome.
Now,
It's a good feeling. Good feeling.
nowadays, you talk about how you're spreading peace, you're spreading love. What does that look like in real life today?
Yeah, it's difficult. When people, it's not easy to keep what my wife says, what she's done some research on, is the amygdala, which is right here in the frontal lobe of our brain,
Mhm.
that we want to keep in check because it controls our emotion.
Mm.
So if I'm driving down the street and somebody cuts me off, instead of me giving the bird or yelling out my window, "Hey, asshole, watch what you're doing,"
Yeah.
I just as long as no one got hurt, as long as I didn't get hit, it's okay for me to let it go. I'm not gonna look less of a man if this guy, curses me out while he's
Right.
driving by. My wife doesn't care,
Right.
But when we stick up for our manhood, our testosterone gets in the way a lot.
We ain't trying to get shot nowadays, though.
Man, I got a song about that.
We ain't trying to get shot nowadays. These kids, you can't just have a screaming match on the highway anymore.
No, man.
Flick somebody off. Now they want to pull out a gun and shoot your whole car up.
They're playing for keeps, man. So
Yeah.
so for me to spread peace out here and within our community, it's even a little easier because we are so diverse. I mean, all across the world, we are Volkswagen, we are Volkslife. And when you walk up and you're talking to Hawaiians, when you walk up and you're talking to people from Africa, when you walk up and you're talking to people from Indonesia or China, or wherever they're from, we're all right here talking about the same thing. We're all doing the same thing. We're all admiring everybody, giving compliments. And I always say the Volkswagen community to me is the best auto community because we love each other. It's not like we have competition. Of course, we race. We have competition.
Sure, sure.
But when we're all hanging out, we're drinking beer and barbecuing and talking shop.
That's
it's
why I said, man, somebody's got to document this. Somebody's
yeah,
got to document these stories. Not that, like I'm some end all be all. I'm just a dude from Central Florida, but somebody has to document these stories that we're talking about right now because man, this podcast will live on for a long time.
that part, man.
It'll outlive me, and they'll be able to
That
look
part.
back on our culture in this day and age at one point and be like, damn, all right, well, that's what was going on back then.
That's what was going on. Right, right.
Yeah,
And to be
yeah.
a part of it, and just to be a part of it. Like my mom would say a lot of times when she'd be a part of Central Avenue in 1945 when my mom first came to California. My granddad brought her here from Denison, Texas, and for her to be a part of the Central Avenue movement, which carried her into the future with all the stars that became stars. She was right there. So to watch her documentaries, you can go Google mom and find a lot of her stories. I'll send you some links on that as well,
Yeah,
where
please
she
do.
talks about being a pioneer.
Oh,
And I Googled Volkswagen songs when I started writing this Volkstale. Volkstale is the actual album project name,
okay.
Volkstale. So I started Googling. I wanted to know, who else is out here doing this?
Yeah.
And there's plenty of like country, like folk, like banjo, music for Volkswagens, but there was not one hip hop artist or a hip hop song or R&B song about Volkswagens. So when people started telling me, "Hey man, you're in your own lane, you're one of a kind," and I'm going, "Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
wow."
All right.
What I'm saying?
Let's
It hits so
go.
deep, man. But I'm honored, man. I'm blessed to be there because I go out and I see people and I haven't seen people in so long, and there's no airs. I don't, that putting on that front. I like to wear my stuff. I like to be D.Note, but there's the airs doesn't work for me. Don't the conceitedness, the arrogance, that doesn't work for me. That's not reaching the people. You're still being away from the people. So I want to engage with the people, like my mom.
Yes.
She
Yes.
engage people. So when you engage people, it's hard for them to stay in their funk. It's like you just help somebody smile today, or you just, if nothing else, they feel a little bit better because of what you said to them, or just a smile. So in real life today, it's not hard to really crack the code because a lot of us won't do it. But I went with my wife to Maine. Her parents have a house on Swans Island. And on the island, it's like a mandatory rule that when you drive by or walk by people, you smile and wave.
Yeah, man.
It's
Let's
a written
go.
rule.
That should be a
You know what I'm
mandatory
saying?
rule for the whole country.
I was at home, so I get back to LA and I'm waving. I'm like, honey, nobody's waving.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Nobody's waving back. She's like, well, keep waving, honey. Somebody will respond.
Now, it's not every day that I get to talk to somebody that's got, a whole history in the Volkswagen community. So, from your opinion, how
Wow.
has the community kind of changed from the 80s and the 90s to today? Because
Wow.
it certainly has seen some changes, but I
Oh, yeah.
want to hear your opinion of it.
Yeah, my version.
Exactly.
From these eyes. From these eyes. Wow, say from the 80s till now. when I got involved, late
Maybe,
80s.
maybe
Really,
let
really.
me make it easier for you. Tell me from the 80s and 90s, what's something that we've lost, and then what's something that we've gained?
We've lost a lot of distribution centers for Volkswagen parts.
Mm,
I
interesting.
mean, a lot. There are some shops that I used to shop with that are no longer here. Um, the metal, the parts, the businesses, what people go through in life. Some people can sustain, some people can't. So the distribution centers that we had for Volkswagens has diminished quite a bit. So we have a smaller group now of places that we can go still shop at, but we're limited on the people who are actually manufacturing the parts. So
Gotcha.
it may look exactly like the fender that I need, but now I've got to drill it. I've got to file the hole. I've got to modify it in some way.
Right.
So we've definitely lost the spec of certain things, but we've gained a lot of people who can tell you about it before you do it. Like I've experienced this, so I can warn you now. So that has gotten a lot better with the community as well. But to lose something else we've gained is a whole genre of Volkswagens now, and I say that saying patina. Patina used to have to park in the back of the lot.
Now they're up
You know,
front.
you know what I'm saying? If
Yeah,
you're a
it's
rusty,
almost like the rustier the better nowadays. And what I actually have become attracted to it in modern times. I'd say maybe the last year. I like when the bus has a lot of surface rust on it, and then
yeah,
they clear it with like it looks like a freaking half inch of lacquer. You know what I mean? And everything you're
that's,
like, dude, this is just epic looking. It looks like bowling ball type paint or something. It's so awesome looking. I love that when it looks like
that's what
that.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's pulled me in.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
pulled me
Me
in.
too.
I can't. It's one guy who redid. I mean, every nut and bolt brand new, every rubber grommet interior done, but the body you can see through the hood to the floor pan.
I
You
know it.
know,
Man,
no,
I gotta tell you, I'm attracted to it. And
yeah,
then what I also
yeah,
see a lot of, you see a lot of is they redo the bus,
yeah,
full body off restoration.
yeah,
Everything is completely
yeah,
done, every nut and bolt. And then the paint
yeah.
job is painted to look like it's this big rust bucket, right? But you go up to it from 10 feet, 20 feet away, you're like, damn, that thing is butched. You get up to it, you're like, hold on
Yeah,
a minute. This
yeah,
is paint?
yeah,
This is paint? And then it becomes a
yeah.
masterpiece, right?
Got
Yeah.
rust dripping down the bolts that has been airbrushed in.
Yes, that's what I'm talking
So,
about. Yes.
so I can't say there's a negative change. There's ups and downs to every industry.
Oh,
So yeah,
I got something else that we've gained that we talked
yeah.
about.
What's that?
Technology.
Yeah,
Technology.
yes,
Look at this. You and
yes,
me, we're together. You're in
yes,
Cali, I'm in
yes,
Florida. We're chilling. We've gained technology. That's another thing we've gained.
yes, yes. Airbag system on Volkswagens,
Yes, we certainly get. Back when I was
and you
young,
can
the only
control
way
it.
to get them
You
low
can,
was static or hydraulics. That was it.
pulling shims. We
So
used to pull shims.
let's talk about the role that clubs like VW Love still play in the scene today.
Yeah, they're still around. My club is still around. All this not as deep as we were back then, um, but we all go out and still support the meets. You know, they don't have meets right now. VW Love hasn't had a real club meet in some years now, but they still go out and support other meets.
Sure.
Which is real important as well because they do the
Bring the
raffle.
love. Bring the love.
VW Love.
Yeah, someone's got to bring the
You know,
love.
that was
Let's
there was a
touch on the younger builders. Do
okay.
do younger builders understand this culture, or are they creating their own path like we had to?
I think they're going to create their own path, Jay.
Okay.
I think that's what's going to happen. Because like I said, we're losing our shops, we're losing our distribution centers.
Right.
A lot of the guys that have been working in some of the businesses that I've been shopping with since I was a young guy are still there. They're not having anyone come over and take over. They're not having an apprentice at the counter learning about the parts list. I go to SoCal and Andy over there, the owner of SoCal out here in Paramount. I walk in and ask Andy for a part, and Andy doesn't even have to look in his computer.
The
And I'm talking about him.
specialist.
I'm his warehouse, man. I'm going, Andy, how? And he's like, D-Note, it's years. It's just years of knowing. It's just
Yeah.
years of repeating, years of looking up. So
Amazing.
I think they're gonna go their own route, man. I really do. We've got a few stragglers holding on to us, and we're holding on as long as we can. But I think they're gonna do something different.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
So what's next then for evolution of Volkslife? You're working on apparel, you said. You got more music coming. You guys, do you have any events on the books? Are you got anything coming up?
You remember I was telling you right after I closed down my studio. That
Hmm.
was when I came up with Volkslife.
Hmm.
And at the time I was closing down my studio, I was doing business with a few other companies. And one company was her company's name is LRT Entertainment. And Lisa saw my last video I just did for Halloween, and she hits me up. She's like, Dino, I see you're still going. What are you doing? What's going on with you? And I tell her, I'm like, I really wasn't moving focused with a plan for my music. So right now we're engaging with business again. I'm back in business with my old company, LRT Entertainment. That's going to be awesome.
Awesome,
But
man.
what we're going to engage in now, we're going to take Volk's life and incorporate it with so many other areas of life. I want to go film. I want to go television. I want to do commercial. I want to do. It's just so many things I want to do with Volk's life. So yeah, we're talking scripts. We're talking, like I said, movies.
Awesome.
Strictly about Volkswagens. Do something mainly about Volkswagen. Herbie the Love Bug is iconic. You can never top
Absolutely.
Herbie.
No.
And Bumblebee, the Transformers,
Yes.
he's iconic already. So
You ain't
for us to
lying.
create, for us to go on and hop on that train, because you figure the Volkswagen car, the Volkswagen Bug, the classic one is one of the most recorded vehicles in movie history. You can look in
It's
movies and
everywhere.
you
They
can
pop
see
up
it.
everywhere. We watch movies all the time, my wife and I on Netflix, and I'll be watching, something from 96, and I'm like, oh, there was a bay window in the background. You see that? You know what I mean?
My wife and I do it all the time.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and for me to be able to have one of the most iconic buses in one of my videos, Skinner Classic, Robert Skinner, his company's called Skinner Classics. I don't know if you've heard of Skinner yet.
Come on,
But
man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
he owns the Ridgemont, the Fast Times Ridgemont High bus.
Yes. The
So
yellow and red one.
his home was in the Valley Relic Museum at the time I was filming my video. So I reached out to the museum and asked them would they mind if I could come there and film. They said, "Well, you got to talk to Robert." I said, "That's going to be easy." Hey, Skinner, he's like, Dino, tell him I sent you. So, to be able to have that type of connection, man, to be able to
Yeah,
have that
man.
type of love. I mean, I'm in the museum with my smoke machine looking like I'm in there smoking ganja. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and another quiet story that's never come up before. And Robert, oh my God, Skinner, you're an awesome guy, man. But D-Note broke the handle in the bus.
Tell me
But
about
Dino
that.
replaced it. But Dino replaced it. I'm locked in. I couldn't get out the bus, man. I couldn't get out the bus. I'm trying to open the door, and I've been doing some push-ups that morning because I knew I was gonna be on film. So I wanted my arms,
Swole up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got the
I
blood flow going.
wanted to be ready for these doors that gets, try to lock me in. I'm not getting locked. I look up and I got the handle in my hand, Jay. I call Skinner and I'm like, when I say he was the nicest guy about it, I was expecting at least oh man, he didn't give me that. But what I did was I went online and found an authentic year period correct handle, same color, same tarnish, looked like it almost had the same marks on it. So don't tell anybody that, man. Love you, Skinner. Appreciate you, man.
What message do you want the next generation of VW kids, maybe not even kids, just maybe the younger generation of who's next in this culture? What message do you want them to hear?
That if you're going to get into something, do your research and do your due diligence. Because I've got people right now purchasing vehicles that they don't really know how to search for imperfections or search for what we call cancer.
Yeah.
And It's really important that we do our research, do our due diligence, so we don't get caught with a really big lemon or something that requires a lot more work than we're ready to pay for.
Hmm.
But have fun. Just remember to have fun. You're gonna bust your knuckles. You're gonna bleed. You're gonna run into something that you can't fix. You got to cut it out. You're gonna run into these obstacles that are gonna try to deter you. They're gonna beat you up. You're gonna be upset. You're gonna want to sell it, because I've been in all those positions, Jay. I've sold cars. I've gotten rid of cars because of things that I could have gotten around if I'd have did my research. If I'd have done a little bit more, I could have fixed it myself. But so yeah, just take your time. Take your time in this day and time, and breathe deep, and don't let your amygdala hijack you. Just stay calm,
Mm.
and just be patient, man. I've got people from this from Maryland, Virginia, making me beats. His daughter, one of the members of the club, his daughters made me this while I was at the show performing.
Oh,
So
cool,
when I
man.
when I get off the stage and they bring me this, so they're involved. They're here making things. They're doing artwork and stuff like that. So but they look at us like dinosaurs sometimes. They're like, "Oh, you dinosaurs,"
I
you guys are messing with that gasoline still. you
gotta show you
know.
this. I gotta show you this just because we're talking about it.
Let me see. Let me see.
There's my 6-year-old.
No way, man. Hold on.
Yeah, man, that's my 6-year-old.
No way.
Yeah,
See what I'm talking about?
and hey,
See what I'm
it
talking
don't
about?
stop. This is like 6 months old. You should see it now. Now I'm like,
That's what I'm talking about, man.
he's in art
Tell him.
lessons and everything, man. But yeah, man. And he like
Tell
you
him.
said, he's all in it. He can tell you the difference between split windows, bay windows. He knows
Oh yeah. Oh
Carmagia. He
yeah.
knows the Type
Oh
34.
yeah.
He knows
Oh yeah.
beetles. He knows different things about the back window, if it's an oval, if it's a split. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
My
like,
wife used to wonder how I knew all that. She's like, "How do you know what year it is just by looking at it?"
yeah,
Now she knows.
there are differentiators.
Yes, they are slight
Yeah,
difference.
yeah,
Yeah, slight differences. So yeah, man, this is gonna be beautiful, man. And like I said, I've been doing music a long time.
yeah.
Matter of fact, we say how this is my other matter of fact. I'm just gonna show this picture real quick. That's one of my Germany families right there. That's Ingo and his family. He's my one of my biggest advocates for trying to get me to Germany right now.
Oh,
So
cool,
shout
man.
out to Ingo.
Yeah.
So yeah, the reception of Volkswagen John has been beautiful, man.
So when
Joe has
people
been beautiful.
when people say your name, D-Note, decades from now,
Yeah.
what do you hope they associate with it?
I hope they say what one of my mom's friends said on the radio one day, and she was live, and she goes, "Hey, that's your son who brought you in, right?" And she says, "He's a cool cat."
Man,
Right on the
that's
air, and I'm listening,
perfect.
going, "I just, he was a cool cat, man. He was a good dude, he wasn't an asshole, you know. He would listen, he would stop and take the time if he could, because we can't do everything. They say when the plane goes down, you got to put the mask on yourself first. So, not necessarily in an airplane, but on the streets and in real life,
Yeah.
sometimes we just have the mask on and we just don't have time to stop and help everybody. But yeah, I just want to be known as someone who was there, and was a good dude to the people, you know.
At a soul level, at a soul level, what does Volkslife mean to you?
It's a life sentence for me. I've accepted it. It's nothing that's going to hurt me. Deep in my soul, I know that this is where my life rests. I'm not going to go build a high-rise building. I'm not going to start. Well, I don't know. I might go learn to blow glass or something like that. But this is what I'm doing. And it's deep in my soul already with music and Volkswagens. I'm tied. I'm tied. I'm in. I'm in for life. I'm in for life. So and it resonates deep inside my soul with my music. And like my song, I just want to chill with my wag. That's a real love song. My wife, before she knew I was singing about a Volkswagen, before she heard the hook, I just want to chill with my wag. There's nothing else I'd rather do. You know what I'm saying? You can find me underneath my wag, make an adjustment or two. It takes up my life. It takes up my soul. So it's a love song to Volkswagen. So yeah, it's my life.
You're a
It's
talented dude, man. I love it. I really appreciate you coming on, man. All right, I got some rapid fire questions. These are questions that are designed for a fast response. Now,
okay.
if a story
Okay.
comes of any of these, though, we can stop, we can pause, we can tell a story. But
Okay.
rapid fire, you ready?
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, first VW model that you ever fell in love with.
Bug.
Bug. Favorite VW model of all time.
Bug.
Bug. One mod every VW should have.
Bug. I love the buses and the gears and the Type 3s and the fastbacks and all that, man. But I am a man. It's something about the curves on a Volkswagen that picks up the pearls and the paints and the lighting when you go by. It's just not, no other bug shows it. No other bug
Man,
shows it.
I got this funny, it's on my Instagram somewhere. I was just gonna look for it, but I don't want to waste your time. But it's a picture of a Beetle from the back, all right? And
Okay.
the
Okay.
rear engine of the deck lid is looks like a chick bent over, right? It's got like the T back and it runs down, and the fenders in the rear are like her, like the side of her like hips, right? And I posted it like 6 months ago, and I said, I'm starting to understand the obsession.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey. Hey,
hey,
one of my lyrics say, I love it when that ass be dragging.
that's it.
You
That's
know,
it. Yeah.
take it how you want. Take it how you want.
Uh, most overrated VW model of all time. Overrated.
Wow. Most overrated. Gee whiz. That's a hard one, man. I know somebody that owns all models. You about to get me in trouble. Um, Most overrated. I want to say Gia, but my wife will kick me.
My
I
wife
want
will
to.
too. She's got a 71.
Yeah, my wife got a 69 that I'm building right now. So, um, I- I'm lost for that one. I'm lost.
Okay.
If we're on
Hey,
Family
you
Feud, I'll be
know,
passed.
I've had a few guests that say, "No, man, none of them are overrated," right? But
Yeah,
the
that's how.
most common answer is a split bus, and not because they're not cool. They are cool as hell. Just
Yeah,
because they're kind of hard to get in if you're tall. They're not really that comfortable, slow, etc. And yeah, that's just what I hear
I'm
from a
gonna agree because
lot of
I did
guests.
drive a bus and the steering was really different for me. So I'm gonna have to agree with that.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was overrated. How about most underrated? What's the most underrated VW model of all time?
The most underrated VW model was I'm gonna have to say the bus again. Because when we were younger, they were, all cars were like $50 out of somebody's backyard.
Right.
Um, but for it to do what it's done financial wise and to go as far as it's gone price wise.
Right on. You see them at the auctions. Even though the market's down right now, you still a German late 50s, mid 60s bus, they're 100 plus thousand dollars. The you
Come
know,
on, man. Come on, come on.
yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I underrated, undervalued, underestimated the bus.
Okay, okay. How about dream collaboration between either a builder or an artist?
Um, I do have a dream collaboration, and that would be with a company called Powerhouse.
Oh, I know who Powerhouse is. Power, it looks like Powerhouse, right? The way it's
Yes,
spelled. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yes, yes. John
yeah.
is amazing. I would love to do a collab with a vehicle with him.
Let's get them
As
on the
far
podcast, man. Let's get them on the show.
I'll have him. He will tap in. He'll
Yeah,
definitely
man.
tap in.
That'd be
Beg Jay,
cool.
you hear that? If this don't end up on the cutting floor, Jay, come on, bro. I would
Yeah.
love to see you. And he's got stories, man. John's he's been in it a long time.
Yeah,
He's been
man.
doing this a long time.
I'd
You
love
know,
him. I'd love Skinner too, man. If you know Skinner, I reached out to him on Facebook probably, I don't know, 6 months ago or so. And I didn't even get a response. But
I'll,
hey,
I'll,
man,
I'll
he
call
don't know
I'll
me.
call I'll call him when we hang up. I'll
Yeah,
call him when we hang up.
he don't know me, but he has liked some of my content and stuff in the past when I've had other folks on, like Dan
Okay.
Ledbetter,
Okay.
etc. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know there's potential,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Robert
nobody
told me
really
it's so
knows
busy
me.
too.
You know what I mean? Nobody really knows me. When they see where my heart's at, and they can tell that I'm one of y'all.
We
uh,
all got to start somewhere. We all got to start somewhere.
yeah, 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 man.
We got to start somewhere, and I'm loving your intro, man. I'm loving it. You see, you've been doing this a year now.
Yeah, yeah. But see,
Yeah. Yeah.
my background is really kind of performance. So I'm a sales trainer. I'm a sales
Okay.
instructor. I get up in front of a class 4 times a year. I teach 20 to 25 technicians. So, I mean, I've just been, my whole
Okay.
like last 20 years of my career has just been basically performing,
Okay. Okay.
whether it be a sales process or teaching others how to do it. Right.
Right. Right. Right.
So this kind of fits for me. It kind of fits the
Okay.
whole big picture.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now I found a way to take something that I'm really good at, which is talking and being
Okay.
kind of a leader with my voice and
Yeah.
mixing it with my passion, which is Volkswagens. So
Giving us a platform, man. You're giving us a platform.
yeah, man, and it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, and
But
Dan has
it's
said that
nothing
before,
without you guys. It really is.
without the community. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, finish this sentence here. Ready?
Yes.
Volk's life is
Just that. A way of life.
okay.
The way of life. It's just that. You're living it. That's what I coin. I live in the Volks life. Any
shout outs? Anybody you want to say what's up to? Anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, man. All of I'm gonna just say all my community clubs. It's so many of them. I don't even want to start naming them and leave one off.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? Because right here we our community is huge out here, man. I give so much love in my videos. And I tag their logos and things like that. And I give them pumps out and their stickers and their logos and stuff like that in my videos, just so I make sure that I try to tap on everybody. And in one video, I can't show everybody. So my videos as I go, I add more or whatever, take away who I've already shown or so on and so forth. But yeah, to my Volkswagen community all the way around the world, from the east to the west to the bay, y'all know the lyrics. Yeah, love you guys, man. Thank you for all the welcoming arms and receiving D.Note and his music the way you have, and just accepting me as another club member too, because I don't want to be this artist who comes around and he's like, oh, here comes D.Note. No, I'm you. I'm you. I'm Volkswagen. I'm you.
And that's a wrap for this episode of DubLife Diaries. Thanks for riding along with us and diving into these incredible stories of the people in the dubs that drive their dreams. If you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe or hit that follow button so you never miss an adventure. Do you have a story to tell or know somebody else who's living the dub life? Awesome! Reach out to us. You can find us on all socials at DubLife Diaries, or shoot me an email. I'm not hard to find. DubLifeDiaries@gmail.com. Until next time, keep the engines humming and the wheels turning, and always follow the road that inspires you. This is Joe Person. I'm signing off. I'll catch you on the next ride.